Hey everybody, and welcome to the Coffee Comment this week. It is your girl Mecca,
and Ryan.
and we have a special guest with us today, Miss Amina Banks, the stylist. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problemo. So, tonight's topic is going to be don't hate, congratulate the transgender fight. Thanks for Ryan for that awesome title. With Strut debuting, when was that? Tuesday. And Pride being less than 2 weeks away. Less than
October.
1 week away. Yeah. So around we thought this would be very appropriate to talk about. So let's get started. So, like I said, Strut came on Tuesday. I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was stuck at work. So, Ryan, how did it go?
I actually like the show. I'm kind of biased because I'm Team Isis because I've been watching Isis since America's Next Top Model. So I think she is just fabulous. She didn't get too much airtime this first episode, but overall, I think that the season is going to be good. It gives you a little insight on, the transgender world, how there's one guy on there, I want to say his name is Liam. Leah?
It's
something with,
yeah.
And he talks a lot about his struggles, with his family, and also just struggling with a lot of hate that he gets on his Instagram page, and just dealing with all of that, being out so open, and people having their opinions, and his mother is not totally accepted of his transition. And then there's the other girls that are on there. Some of them a little bit too dramatic, but I guess it makes sense for entertainment purpose. But overall, I think that the show is a good show. So I'll be watching.
You watched it?
I'll be watching it
Have you watched it?
I haven't.
No.
I have not watched it.
It's a good show. I'll watch it
Maybe I should watch it this Tuesday because I have off. Yay me. So, Amina, tell us a little bit about yourself, the listeners, about yourself. You can start where you want and you can end where you want.
I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm the oldest of 4. I don't know. What else? What else do you want to know?
Styling wise,
styling wise, I've been styling for about 7 years now, on and off. I interned in New York for about 2-3 years before coming back to Atlanta. In the process of relocating again to further my career. So,
did you not like New York?
I love New York.
Why did you come back here?
That's a good question.
Everybody asks me that when I came from LA. I'm from New Jersey, but I moved to LA for college, and everybody's like, "Why did you come to Georgia?"
Yeah.
So, yes, that is Amina. So now we're gonna get into the topic of the Gigi Gorgeous situation. This happened in April, right? Was it April, May or something? And she went to Dubai. I only read excerpts of what happened, and my sister, she talked to me about it because apparently she's a fan. I really don't care for her too much. I don't know, her voice on YouTube, watching it just irritates me. But you knew something about it, right?
I didn't know anything about Gigi. I just heard, of course, all the social networks were talking about it, and I didn't know who the person was, but of course I read into it to find out what exactly the media is saying what happened. And as far as what the media is saying is how she was trying to go into Dubai, but they were saying that her passport didn't match what, she's a girl, but they said that her passport was reading male, and so they were not accepting of that. because over in that country they don't they have a lot of anti-LGBT laws, so it's just a whole different world over there as far as them being a lot more conservative. Definitely their religious backing. So that is what the media is saying.
Right. And like, to stem off that as anything, when it comes to Black Lives Matter, that incident, just anything as a whole, when the media puts it out, they only put out certain things, like she just said. And then we as watchers and consumers, we only, we take it the way that we want. So when it first happened, especially if you're a fan of Gigi Gorgeous, everybody got so offended, so sad. But before the show, we were all talking, and Miss Amina said she has. Some stuff that's deeper than what the media said.
Like I was saying before, and this is for any trans girl, many countries that aren't really open to being trans, you have to do your research about them, because as far as like religion is concerned, you have to do your research. And I guess she has this privileged mentality to where she's used to going places and she's used to, pushing through. However, going to the UAE, where they are very, very, they can kill people because of their sexuality. And I'm not sure if she wasn't aware, if she didn't do her homework, but it's just like, if you go into an airport and you have on an urban fatigue jacket, you have blonde hair, your partner has on a bright pink book bag amongst other people who are pretty much low-key, that's kind of like they're looking at you already.
Right.
So then for you to try to pass through and your passport documents are in order, they don't know if you can be a terrorist. They don't know any of that. So that's why she was detained. And to say it was discrimination is, for me, a reach.
Right.
Because of the simple fact that, like, you didn't have your shit together.
Exactly.
And you went in thinking, okay, well, I'm Gigi Gorgeous. Like, I get anywhere I want. And it's just like, sweetie, these other countries could care less about who you are.
Exactly.
So it was just like, and that whole, I was just like, girl, no, like, tell it how it is. Like, don't, she went there thinking, oh, I'm Gigi Gorgeous, so they're going to let me through.
Like most celebrities.
Yeah, and then, like, when they detained her ass, like, it was just like, oh, discrimination. No, bitch, like, your stuff wasn't together.
And she's on social media, because I went back during this week and I looked at it. She was on social media. She made a whole YouTube video about it. She put some statements out saying how horrified and how scared she was. But she wasn't scared.
Like, I think what really irked me about this was, she speaks about discrimination, her experience, but there's been over 20-something deaths as trans women, and she spoke nothing. So now you want to say something when you are directly affected. I can't take you seriously. Because if you're going to speak on it, like, if you're going to be an advocate or claim to be an advocate for trans issues, then do it when it does not affect you.
Right.
Don't just do it when you are personally affected by it.
But a lot of people, and it's sad because a lot of people in this world don't only care until it happens to them. Yeah. Like, they want to scream, oh, all lives matter, Black lives matter, but then when their cousin or mom or whatever, then it's like, no, I'm really serious about it. Like, you should have been serious about it if that's what you preach, if that's what you're, putting on Front Street for everybody. Yeah, like I said, I only read what the media put out, and I read what she had. Because,
like, especially like in the trans community, like when Matt heard about that, people talk.
Right.
So it was just like, and people said like how it really was. She went there. She was not dressed accordingly. Like, you can't go there with no fucking armor fatigue jacket on. Your boyfriend not boyfriend, it's a girl.
Girl.
But, like, your partner has on a bright pink book bag. Everybody else has, like, just regular luggage.
It's almost like, do your homework.
Yeah,
do your
and it's just like, and you
go.
come in, like...
She came into U.S.
She has a Los Angeles look to her.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, of course, already, like, you're kind of standing out.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So people are already looking at you. They already know you're not from here. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like you're kind of making yourself a target. Basically. But it made it worse by you not having your gender marker changed. But regardless of I don't think she had the surgery, or I'm not sure. But even if that was the case, to say, oh, because like, no, like, why would you? No, that doesn't make any sense.
She
to
just
me.
basically made herself a target instead of just going in
Yeah,
there.
they humbled her ass. They humbled her ass when she got there.
Right.
And my thing, and my issue with that, I'm just like, had that been like a black trans woman, I think it would have been completely different.
Oh, it definitely probably been way more.
You know what I mean? But I do know she was detained. Well, not detained, but she was banned, so she can't even go to the UAE, which is like,
oh, okay, that was the end result. See that
they banned her.
Now that's funny. I didn't read any of the banning, but
oh, she was banned.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, piggybacking off of the whole Gigi thing, how do you feel about? Because I got a problem with it. With Caitlyn Jenner coming out and everybody's like praising Caitlyn,
I got a problem with it too.
And getting awards for Woman of the Year, and it's like, okay, but like there's Laverne Cox, there's been other transgenders, like why all of a sudden, you know, Caitlyn Jenner comes out and it's like, oh my God.
Because it's there, that's when white privilege comes into play. Mm-hmm. And as well as the name behind it, because I will be honest, when the cover was revealed, I was like, okay, cool. You know, I was out and I just happened to see it, so I was just like, I applauded. I even like posted pictures and stuff like that. But then like when the show came about, and I was just like, how can you be trans and be a Republican and say that Trump is like? That's when I started to, and a lot of the trans community started to side eye Caitlyn, because it's just like. Her transition happened fairly quickly. Like, it was for me, it was kind of, I was like, damn, like, she was just on Dateline or something like that, but then, like, a cover came out, so it was just like, okay, cool.
Well, shit, Chris was like, wait, what?
Talks.
You just told us about this.
You know money talks, though.
True.
It's different between being, I guess, regular with people / broke folks, opposed to people who got money that can make things happen. Which is understandable,
because I'm not going to lie, like, if I was in that position, like, I would have a lot more done.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to knock that. However, it's just like, if you're going to transition, then you have to be ready to be in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, I just was uneasy about the whole, you're trans and you're a Republican. Like, I was just like, how? Like, how is that possible?
Yeah, I had a problem with the whole Caitlyn Jenner situation. I was fine. I was like, okay, cool. You want to be a girl? That's fine. I'm all for it. I don't, discriminate. Do what you do. But I did have a problem with they're giving her this award for Woman of the Year. What?
Okay.
No. When there are so many other, and it's not to, negate or take away from what Bruce, now Caitlyn, has done, but it's like, Woman of the Year? No, there are full-on women out there just doing things that's very influential, and you're giving Caitlyn Jenner Woman of the Year? That's where I'm like, okay, for what? For being on the reality show?
No, I thought it was for like before
when he was Bruce, but I'm like, but
it's funny how she got one during like a woman's ceremony.
It's the Etsy,
and then she got one for that one too.
So I don't know. I just had,
again, like I said before, it's white privilege, because like I said before, it's other trans women who are actively doing things for the trans community.
Exactly.
Like
that's
Cox,
how I felt
Janet
about
Mock,
that.
And other activists who are not that well known, who are in the forefront. And I think that it's, like I said before, it's the last name and it's the notoriety that she has.
Exactly.
And it's just like, and I think that's where a lot of people were getting upset, because it's just like, we actually have trans women that are out here dying.
Yeah, that was my thing.
And it's like, you identify as trans, however, your struggle is not like ours.
Right. And homelessness and transgender.
Yeah.
And suicide.
And suicide.
That's
25
what
and
promotes heavy on her Instagram page.
Right.
She's always talking about, trans lives matter. She posts
anywhere, period. But I'm going to speak from what I know. I'm 25. I grew up in New Jersey, and, it's kind of open, right? Having New York right there, 20 minutes away. It's open. And so, growing up, I've always had my lesbian friends. I've had my gay guy friends that my mother, love and adore. And then I've had some of my friends I went to school with. Once we hit senior year or graduated from high school, they were in transition. And my good group of my friends, I mentioned them before, they are LGBTQ activists up north in New Jersey, Philly, DMV area. And that's what we had a discussion about. We were all mad, like, you're getting praised and saying the hardest thing about being a woman is getting dressed in the morning. You have trans homelessness at an all-time high, especially up north. You have the suicide, up north and everywhere. People are just dying for no apparent reason just because they want to be who they are. And then you're going to make some snot-ass, dumb-ass comment like that. I was just like, nah, I'm not even feeling that at all.
I mean, like, and that, it was just like, yeah, when she stated that, I was just like, are you serious? Like, and because I watched the show, and there have been times where she stated, like, I'm new to this stuff, and I'm just like,
right. She did say that a lot.
She's like, I don't know what to do. I'm just like, well, are you like, why did you?
I honestly think that. Honestly, I really think that Caitlyn thought that I'm gonna just transition. Nobody's not gonna really put me in that spotlight just because of it's so a shameful thing. So I honestly think that...
I mean, she's a Jenner, so it's kind of like...
I don't think that she was... I really don't think that she thought she was going to have to come off like the LGBT,
She's not the face of
the face of... Yeah. No, and I think... I think she thought that, people are just going to be mad what I've done and just shame me, and I could be in my own world in Malibu chilling. Much more. And that is why... I think what she's always saying, I'm new to this, but I'm like, I just don't think that she thought that all this was going to come about. I think she just thought, okay, I'm going to get shamed a little bit, I'm going to go about my life, and I'm going to be that, that guy that went from being Bruce to Caitlyn. Right. And that's about it. So, and as far as that goes, I always wanted to know how you guys felt about all, because I know I personally was like, right, when there are so many.
It wasn't even because I think a lot of people were attacking the fact that she was trans. I was not attacking the fact that she was trans. I was upset at the fact it was just like her statements made me uncomfortable, because it's just like, because I'm just like, okay, you're attacking her because she's trans, and that's your reasoning, but there are no valid points behind that reasoning. You don't have to agree with her transitioning. Right. However, if you're going to debate that, have more to say than just, just because she's trans and you don't agree with it. So automatically off the bat, you're not being open to it. My thing was, it's just like the things that she was saying, I was just like, it's not lining up with, you claim that you're living in your truth, and it's just like, you're saying like some things that don't line up.
Right. Almost that make it seem like you thought about the shit yesterday and then woke up and did it.
Yeah, it was like, and that's how it came across for me. So that was my issue. But what I was upset about was other people, saying like really rude and disrespectful things about her being trans. Right. That's the issue that I had.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was just like,
So, what brought on you want to transition? Like,
it's always been there, but I think this is for a lot of trans women in the, I won't say in the South, but one of the South, as well as like other places. It's the resources. It was, like I said, it was always there, but the resources were limited, and like it wasn't until I just had to like become like honest with myself, because I was really depressed. Like I was not happy at all, and I had to really like reflect, because I was in a household where my mother was very religious, like extremely religious, and like,
so you was like church Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday night Bible.
It was like it was forced. I was like forced, and that made me kind of resentful towards her, because I'm just like, you're forcing me to like do something that I really don't want to do, instead of like allow me to, do it myself. Like, you're forcing me to. And it's kind of like, when they say pray the gay away, I'm just like, no. Because half the time they was like, I was faking it. So it was just like, you know, like, it was very uncomfortable. And it wasn't until I actually relocated to New York where I was, you know, exposed to a
whole nother
a completely a word that I wasn't even aware, you know, existed, to where, you know, there were organizations that were specifically towards trans issues and stuff like that. And it was just like, that's why, you know, I started there, and I became more knowledgeable to where when I came back, I was looking for the same resources in Atlanta, and there were slim to none. Mm-hmm. You know, so it was just like, I knew that I always wanted to transition. However, for me, it was just like finding the resources to transition.
Because like we were discussing before we went on air, it's like, this is Georgia, this is the Bible Belt. Hell, they don't play with a lot of things. So, especially talking about transgender and LGBT,
damn if you do, damn if you don't. I mean, you hear people, oh, why he gotta dress like a girl? Why she gotta dress like a boy? I mean, just fucking, so what? Like,
sometimes, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I wonder, some of them flamboyant gays, I'm like, why do you have to? I'm like, if it makes you comfortable, that's fine. I have no problems with it. But I wonder, I question.
Because like, before I transitioned and I identified as a gay male, when I was younger, I acted the same way because I was finding myself.
Yeah.
I was finding, like, where I fit in and how it was. Mm-hmm. And as I got older, I was still very feminine. However, I scaled it back because I stopped doing it because my friends were doing it. But it's just like, and I really, you know, learned about myself where it was just like, I'm still flamboyant, but I'm not just out there with it. You know what I mean? Where, truth be told, it can make people uncomfortable.
Yeah. I had a friend in high school.
Age? Does that come with
age? It does. Because I had a friend in high school. I loved him so much. I'm not even going to say his name, though. As soon as I met him, he wanted to be Paris Hilton. He smelled like a ball of cotton candy. He wore pink hair one day. When Nicki Minaj came out, it was over. But growing up, being an adult, 18, 19, all the way up, he was like, okay, there's no need for me to have this weave in my hair. Take it out. Then it was a clean shaven. He did his little highlight and everything, but his clothes were more masculine. And it was just, there's no need for that. Like, I'm going to be me, and that's it. I think
it was just like, and that's why I really don't, you know, a lot of people, they have to, when they see flamboyant, you have to realize they're at a certain age where they're just not coming out. They're just now encountering other people that are like them. So, of course, they are at a point where it's kind of like they're free.
Yeah.
So they're doing certain things. And that's not to say, 5 years from now, they're going to look back at that. They're probably, you know, just like me and my friends have done. We look like, oh, my God, like we were just so flaming.
But that's just with anybody. We all look back at our past and go, did you? Ooh, I was buck freaking wild back then, and now, so I was wondering if that's just the age thing.
Yeah, it's an age thing, most definitely. Yeah,
because you feel the need. Because I was telling you, you feel the need to not want to do stuff. Like in school, it's like if you were a lesbian, like if you was gay, you had to make it known. So that's when it was, because I want to get this girl, or because I want to get this, I'm gonna wear my rainbow belt. I'm gonna wear my pins in school. And it was just like you, after a while, like once you got to maybe senior or whatever, you were very sure of yourself. It is. It's very ridiculous. And I don't know. People say, you know, gays and everybody, we don't really care for the rainbow flag. People just do too much, and when you do that, it's like you don't need to. And I was telling them, like my family and my friends, I just got out of a 5.5-year relationship, and so to get myself out there, my cousin was like, well, maybe you should just wear like a rainbow pin or something in public just to let people. And I'm like,
why?
I'm not about to do that. That's doing too much.
This is my thing. How I feel about that. I don't need to put wear a like, I don't need to.
I'm a transsexual.
I'm you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, do I need to put I'm a lesbian? I mean, because I was complaining, like, only straight guys hit on me, because if people look at me for some reason, everybody think I'm straight. Everybody thinks I want a man. But I'm like, so what? Am I to just walk around with the damn rainbow flag on my shirt? Like, I'm not doing that.
Didn't that bring unwanted attention?
I'm not doing that. And then people looking at you like you look like an ass.
Yeah, because I will admit, like, when... Like, even growing up, it really wasn't my thing. Like, I would, in Atlanta, it was just like, when Pride would come around, it was just like, people were, like, wearing that. I was just like, they look
ridiculous.
Because they had the belts and the
they just wanted you to know, and I am gay. But then, okay, well, could you look at it as, I'm just proud to be gay, or proud to be, just proud to be gay?
I mean, I'm not going to say I completely hate it, because I do have it, like, in my house. Like, I have a mini one, and it ain't huge, because I've been to some of my friends' houses, and they got a whole goddamn 62-inch flag on their wall. And it sounds funny, but it also used to be in Newark, where I came up from. They would try to distinguish the bi girls and the lesbian girls, like, depending on where you had your piercing. Like, if you had on a certain place in your lip or the eyebrow piercing. It was so dumb. And I was like, I'm not about to do that. That's extra. That's doing way too much. And yes. I'm not about to now, at the age of 25, wear a pin or a flag on me just so everybody can know, like, hey, yeah, down with the get down. No, I'm not doing it.
So have you had any... like, bad experiences as far as, people discriminating against you for just anything here, being in Atlanta, that is.
There was only, that I can think of off the top of my head, where it was made obvious, and that was during the beginning stages of my transition. And I was going for a job, and, like, the lady talking on the phone, she was extremely nice. Like, she was extremely nice. Like, I got called for the interview and everything. And I will admit, because it was just like, I've come a mighty long way since I first started. And it was just like, around that time, I really didn't have, the appropriate clothing to reflect my sexual identity. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I kind of had this. So it was very confusing to her. And I think, and it was just like, I could tell as soon as I walked in there and she looked, I was just like, "Oh yeah, this ain't gone." Because I could
everybody knows, bitch. Yeah,
I could tell just by her, because she was just like, "Who?" And I said my name, because by then I already had my name changed, mm-hmm. And I was just like, I spoke with you. It was just kind of like the demeanor that she had over the phone. It was different in person.
Yeah,
and that interview lasted no more than 10 minutes.
She's like, "Okay, we'll give you a call."
Yeah, and it was and I felt, and it was so awkward because. Like, because she went over and it was just like, because when we walked out together, and she just went, like, I didn't even get like a
goodbye, nothing. It was just...
She just, I walked to the door, and then she went over to the associate, and I was just like, I felt it, and I felt so uncomfortable. So then I was just like, okay, well, from that experience, I was just like, I need to make sure, that, I started to, like, make sure that the way that I present myself,
yeah,
it matches. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and it's stuff like, it's things like that. It's just like when you first transition, because it's just like, because a lot of, like, when they first, they're like, oh, I can't even, I wore that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, now I don't own a Stitcher Boy clothes. Like, I'm even.
So the whole transitioning, what's that like? Like, what is the first step? Do you just wake up and you like, you know what? I know I'm about to transition. Okay, do I start doing hair first?
Actually,
how does the
because whole... I think, and this is what I try to tell a lot of girls, before you actually take that step, before you become like full time, mm-hmm. try to do it part time. Mm-hmm. And what part time is, just like go out in public, so you can become comfortable
being.
With dressing a certain way and mm-hmm. just saying that. Because if you try to go into it full force,
it's not going to be accepted.
You know what I mean? And that's what I did when I was in New York. Like, I was, like, because a lot of people don't know this. When I was in New York, I didn't wear a weave.
Okay.
I was just all natural. Like, all natural. And I had, like, a nice little, like, my hair, because my hair, like, stops, like, right. My natural hair, like, stops right here. Mm-hmm. So, just, like, I had, like, that whole natural thing going on. And it was mm-hmm. just, like, like, I was, and it was cool.
Right.
And then from there, when I was comfortable going out in public, then I became full-time, and then I started to get on hormones and, like, stuff like that, so.
Now, the whole hormones deal, how's that? Because I've heard different stories, like, good and bad.
I mean, okay, because pretty much hormone replacement therapy is kind of, from male to female, it's kind of like you're going through puberty again. So
right.
I have my mood swings. I have the times where I eat a lot when I'm on hormones. Like, I can eat almost like 4 or 5 times a day. It's like mood swings. It's like menopause, hot flashes.
Ooh.
It's yeah, it's a lot because that's what estrogen is. It's for women who go through menopause.
Yeah.
So that's what you take.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's interesting to know because I don't want to sound ignorant, but that's how I like. Clearly, I have the whole set over there. The L word. That's how I started to see like how they take estrogen and stuff because they had a character Max, but she was going from a female to a male, and so he had to go through all of that. And they were talking about the hot flashes and everything. And I was like, God.
Now, is it harder as far as hormones and going through that? Is it about the same? Like, is it harder for men to women or women to men?
It varies.
It just depends on the person.
It depends on the person.
Okay.
Like it varies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It varies. I mean, but all in all, we experience the same thing. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't give it that hot flashes because I see my mama going through it.
Because it's just like even like guys that I interact with, like we can be and I won't flip out, but my mood would change.
You go, this bitch bipolar.
Yeah, and that's what they think I'm not bipolar. But like that's what being on hormone it does to you. Like you go through mood swings, and I know like especially like when I first started, I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? Because I wasn't used to going through so many emotions.
Changes, yeah.
There were times where I remember when I was in New York, there was a time I was sitting in Starbucks and I started crying.
They said, well, what? Did we get your order wrong?
No, it wasn't. I didn't cry in front of people,
like,
but I was just sitting there. I don't know what it was, but I just started crying, and I was just like, why the fuck am I crying?
That's what we go through.
You know,
when we on our periods.
Yeah.
You know,
why
but then
am
it's
I
just like,
crying?
you know, but then, like, when I
weak
left,
bitch.
it's just like and then like I was just like, okay, let me, and like when I left or whatever, and I went on about my day. It was just like I was completely fine, and then like if I get upset, it's escalated. You know what I mean? So
talking about it goes from 0 to 100 nigga real quick.
Yeah, like quick, like yeah. So it's just it doesn't, and but a lot of people hormone being on from male to female, it's like it gets you ready for castration.
Ooh, Lord Jesus.
So what that means is when girls take hormones or whatever, you're on T blockers and you're on estrogen. The T blockers stop testosterone from producing in your body. So that means there's no erections, none of that.
I often wonder about that.
Because it stops because that's what it's for. Like it stops that. Like it's pretty much like how older men have to take Viagra to get it up.
Oh,
some girls take Viagra to get it up because, especially
because it starts killing everything.
It your sex. Yeah.
So does that happens to girls too when they transition to boys? Is that how?
I'm not sure. I do know they get pimples a lot because they're taking testosterone. So it's
right, because it's okay.
You know,
makes sense.
So it's just like
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like the simplest way I can put it. It's like you're going through puberty all over again as the opposite sex. So you know, with the breast growth and the hips and the ass. I'm just like, because it was so funny to me.
So it develops all of that.
Yeah.
See, I just thought the hormones was okay. Maybe it affects your voice and stuff like that. But
because it's
really
like it'd be times I wake up out my sleep scratching the shit out my nipples. Because I'm just like, why? Like, oh my god, the itch.
I can only imagine you out in public. He's like, ooh, I gotta go to the bathroom.
No, I've done that in public. Like I've like without even thinking, because I'm just like
they itch. So I'm
I just take it and I just do like that. I just like do like that and it feels so good. It's just like I kind of get lost.
Yeah,
you being that boy.
So I'm like,
ooh,
no, I remember I was going to CVS and it was like before they were closing, so I was just like, so I'm walking to CVS. I was like, damn, they were itching. So and just to put it out there, when they grow. That's what that is, you know.
Right,
they're growing. So I don't want you thinking like, oh, the bitch got no height. No, it's like because they're growing. So I don't know why they itch, but the nipples, not the nipples itch. So it's just like I'm walking to CVS and I'm using 2 fingers. I was just like, I was scratching and I look up and it was like these guys in the car just watching and I was just like, oh my god, like because I was like, fuck, like it felt so good. It's like it. Yeah, that's it. Pretty much like breast growth and like thighs and all that other stuff.
I was not aware that it did all of that.
Yeah,
I really didn't.
Because it's like pretty much you're going through puberty, like
And that's a bitch.
Pretty much. So you were talking about people that you're involved in with. So how does that work? Do you just like, hi, yeah?
No, it's not even like that. For me, I'm very shy. I don't approach people because I hate rejection.
Well, hell, that's any damn body.
And for me...
I don't know. Some people like rejection. They think that's a good sign.
Because
no
I think,
nigga,
like, I'm on, dating apps and stuff like that, and I put it out there that I'm trans, and yeah, I put it like this. Like, if I want to, like, sleep with somebody, I don't have any issue with that at all. However, being that I'm really not a sexual person, and that I would prefer something more serious, it's a lot...
You're talking to the wrong dude.
You're not a sexual person. Now I gotta find out how those relationships work because if I'm involved with somebody, I'm not really a sexual. I'm not really a sexual person. I'll be like, "What you mean? Like, what
because
you
this
mean?"
is the thing. It's just like, how certain guys will be like, okay, if a girl makes herself available a lot, he's really not interested.
Right.
For me, it's the same thing that goes for sex. I can get it, so it's just like I'm not horny like that. And plus, it's just like the hormones. Pretty much the hormones it kills it.
Oh,
like it
damn.
kills it. Like
damn.
But I do, and it's just like
Even you can't eat some.
Yeah, I can't.
Like describe it. You gotta.
I'm just like, I have to want it. I can't force myself because if I force myself, you're going to be able to tell that I'm forcing myself.
So, it's probably a dumb question. Like, I know you said you do the dating sites and whatnot. Like, when you're out and about and you see a guy or whatever, your preference, guys, right? Or girls?
Guys.
Okay.
I'm a heterosexual trans.
Okay. So how does that conversation goes? Because I'm like, because you could easily most people well, you're just gonna be down in Midtown. I'm like, no. I'm like, Midtown is not where just all the gays hang out.
Because people tell me, and I'm like, bruh, I don't just be seeing.
Okay, there have been instances, and this is recent, where I've automatically assumed people knew, and the last instance, it kind of almost got physical.
Oh, okay.
Because I wanted it. And the thing with it, because he hit me up on Instagram. So, anyway, I just automatically assume that people know. So, when, he met, and he stayed in my area.
Okay.
So, we met and we was talking on the phone, all this other stuff. So, it was just we talked, smoked a little bit or whatever. And that's what did it. I smoked, and I was just like, yes, I'm ready. That's
all the time.
Got you all the time.
All the time. I was feeling myself.
Yes.
And so, he undressed himself, and then when it came time for me, I took my lower half off, and he, jumped up. And he was like, what the fuck? I was just like, I thought you knew.
Oh.
And, no, because genuinely, I thought he knew.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Because I don't operate
play
like
the
that.
game.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought that he knew, and he was like, "What the?" He was like, "You trying to trick me?" Da, 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 da. I was just like, "I'm not trying." I thought you knew.
Right.
But of course, like, you know, he left over there, but he hit me up like days later. Something like that. So it was like, you know,
so he was like, "Oh, all right, I'm past it."
Shocked a little bit, but no,
because
it work out.
And so that's like, for me, it's just like, I just assume people know, because like I said, I don't hide it, especially like on like dating apps, stuff. Right. Like, I make it know it's in my bio,
right?
You know, and guys don't read.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Because I've had people, you know, like I've had people message me, and it's just like, you know, they don't know what that means. So it's just like, when we talk, it's weird. I'm just like, well, you should have read, because I don't.
Men, they like physical. They look at things.
Yeah, and
they're not reading.
They're physical. You know,
they're more visual people. They don't.
Physical,
they don't got time for all that reading profiles and seeing all that. All they know is like, damn, she fine as hell. I'm gonna talk to her message. They're not gonna sit there and talk about, oh, wait a minute, let me read that profile. Oh, you're trying to no. Because they don't. That's just a man.
I mean, but as far as like when I'm out, anybody who knows me, I walk fast, and it's like if I'm out, I have my headphones in, like I'm in my own world, because if I go somewhere, I'm on a mission. I'm just not just out just to be out,
right?
You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, some guys they'll like on my way here, like this guy, and I'm just like, because I don't even want to get into. I'm just like, I'm just like, I ain't even about to entertain this fool. Like, I'm not about to, you know, because he was going there, and I think like for me, the way that the way that I know because they asked me if I have kids, and I'm like, oh shit.
I'm like, no.
No, because now what I do is, because I gotta fuck when I'm just like, well, you have to have ovaries to have a kid.
And they sitting there like,
and it take no, because I was
so did it mean? But see, most people, if you said something like that, some people would just think, oh, you got a surgery, you're not. They'll think they'll go that technical.
You know, but
they'll just think that you ain't got a uterus. Oh, okay, you got that.
Yeah, because
I was
because I was messing with one of my Uber drivers, and he asked me if I had kids, and I was just like, well, I was like, you have to have a uterus to have kids, and he was like, oh, okay, and so like further that he was just like, oh,
and that light bulb went off.
Yeah, and I was just like, and, you know, it was just so
interesting. Well, we are dialing down to our closing. Show. We do appreciate you coming on and giving me some insight, because a lot of things that I didn't know, because like I said, the hormone thing got me tripping, but because I did not know it was all that behind it. But I do appreciate you coming out here.
Everybody, let's give it up for Amina.
Coming out here and being on the show. You being our first guest on the show
ever.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we do appreciate that. And hey, you guys, if you have any other questions that you want to ask, you know, her, you know, go on the Instagram page.
Coffee comment.
Right. Also, if you want to leave any comments here on
Spreaker.com.
I love this. Or leave a comment on
Facebook.
Or
Instagram at the coffee comment.
Or YouTube.
Yes, we are on YouTube, people.
And you can always, we got her tagged on our, all of our things, all of our social networks. So if you have some questions that you want to ask her about,
but don't get crazy.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
No,
don't get crazy.
Let's not get crazy or disrespectful, because that's just not even needed. We don't even, hence the title, don't hate, congratulate. So yeah, just hit us up, and you know, we had a fun time.
Yes, we did, and we will talk to you guys next Sunday, and be on the lookout once again on YouTube. Well, our Instagram and Facebook for the next topic, which will be up on Wednesday.
So, thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah. Bye. Bye, guys.